David Weiss is a well-known flat earth fool, but it's not only the shape of the earth he don't understand. The globe is fake, space is fake, atomic bomb is fake, according to Dave.
Israel is still poised to strike Iran, and in July, Blinken said that Iran was 1 to 2 weeks away from developing a nuclear weapon, so I guess for all we know, they might have one by now. And meanwhile, in Ukraine, they've struck deep within Russian territory several times, as deep as 300 miles from the border. And in that case, we don't have to guess. We know that Russia has the largest nuclear arsenal on the planet, as many as 6,000 warheads. And so one of the risks of arming militaries that are striking in the territories of nuclear powers is that one of those gets deployed and then it could escalate very quickly from there. So it's rarely discussed, but it's important to address that the nuclear risk is real. The nuclear risk is real, and it could very abruptly mean the end of, what humans have worked for thousands of years to collectively achieve. And us today are very lucky to live with the fruits of that achievement, and I feel like we're treating the risk kind of brazenly.
That was the complete video from David Weiss on this subject, and free your mind. Oh dear. And he claims that the nuke hoax is exposed, and he's referring to his silly webpage. I have looked at it. There is nothing that proves that nuclear bombs are fake. When I read the comments below his video, it's quite clear for me that flat earthers that believe this nonsense, they believe that it's made up stories about nuclear bombs to scare us, scare people. I can't, of obvious reasons, don't show atomic bomb and show how it works, but I have other evidence that he is completely wrong. To the left is the mushroom clouds from the bombing of Hiroshima, and to the right the one from Nagasaki. This is Hiroshima after the bomb. So those two bombs was dropped 1945. After that, a lot of things changed. One of them had to do with military technology. So let's look into that part a bit more. After the Second World War, all armies in the world started to build facilities that could survive an atomic bomb. I have been in many of them. Today I will show videos and images taken by me from Cold War facilities. Those are no military secrets anymore. This is a heavy coastal artillery, and it was built 1953 to 1957. It's equipped with 3 15.2 centimeters cannons, as the one you see on this image. It's built for 340 soldiers, and to get it safe from atomic weapons of the size of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, the facility is 40 meters down in the solid mountain. Let's go down into the mountain and have a look. This is the main entrance to the facility. The quality is not so great. It was quite dark when I filmed this. This is designed to withstand an atomic bomb. Let me explain. It's three things with atomic bombs that are dangerous: the radiation, the heat and the shock wave. The radiation and the heat is taken care of by building the facility 40 meters down and have control over the air. 40 meters down in the mountain is also a good protection against the shock wave, but weak points on this type of facilities is entrances like the one I'm showing just now. This entrance is designed to taking care of that problem. Let me explain with the high-tech illustration made by me. When I filmed this, I stood at the green X and in the beginning looked at the direction for the entrance, and in the end of the clip I pointed the camera to the 1 and 2 markings at this illustration. So what is this illustration? You see the entrance and the passage down in the mountain to the facility, and a shockwave acts like a sea wave. It seeks the easiest way, and I have marked the shockwave with red arrows. The most of the shockwave would go against number 3, where you have a concrete rock wall, and it would bounce up again at the direction to the entrance. So the calculation was that 90% of the shockwave would be taken out by the shockwave. Only 10% would go by the smaller arrow to the right. And number 1 is a big concrete wall, very thick, that you can block this passage. And number 2 is a big steel door. The concrete wall and the steel door would take care of the rest of the 10% of the shockwave. So in this way, the facility was protected against atomic bombs exploding at the surface. You can see the light from the entrance there, and now I move the camera against the way you go into the facility, and down in the end of this corridor around the corner here you have the concrete wall and the big steel door. And here I film from the inside of the facility. Is the dining room for the normal soldiers, and this is one of 2 power plants. It's a ship engine. This is the combat center, control center, and this is also from that combat center or control center. This is the fire control. This is giving information to the cannons how to aim the cannons. This is the sleeping quarters for the soldiers, and this is the control for the anti-air guns. This is one of several workshops. So in this one they could repair radio systems, telephones, and so on. Nearby it's also this facility. It's smaller with smaller cannons, 7.5 centimeters cannons. It's 3 of them, and it was 120 soldiers. This was built in a similar way as the one I described. This was ready in 1964. Later on in the 60s they determined that this type of facilities wasn't protected enough for the more modern atomic bomb that came in the 60s. So they did make some changes on those facilities. Have a look at this from the first facility, the big coastal artillery. In the end of this room they did put in this lock. They did find out in the 60s with the modern atomic weapon it was several design problems with this type of facility. This facility is like a concrete house standing on the rocks 40 meters down. With bigger bombs the whole mountain would shake and this building could be damaged. Another one, this facility is 800 meters corridors and the shockwave would spread in the facility. Therefore they put in those 2 big panzer doors, and they are weighing over 5,000 kilos each, and if you look closely over the door you see a traffic light. So when this was in service they could only open one door at a time, and this way they divided the facility in two parts so they could survive. If the part in when I taking this image would be damaged, the other one could survive, the other part could survive. In the end of the 60s, this type of facilities design changes. This is a measuring station. It have laser, radar and a television camera and can give target information to the cannons in other facilities. So let's look at design of this facility. As you see here, the small building closest to the camera is the entrance. The round building, it's only cover for the radar, and the dome looking like a rock a bit further on the left. Under that one you have the laser. And this is inside the small house. Here you have the entrance to the facility. And here I looking down. Below me I have the house, the facility. I will explain the design. In a big cave, as you can call it, in the mountain, you have a big building. It's hanging in the roof in springs, and under it you have metal beams, and under that you have the tanks for fresh water, diesel and so on. So how will this protect this building from atomic weapons? A big blast will shake the mountain, and as I told before, if you have a building standing directly to the mountain, it will go up to pieces. In this case, the feathers take the force. If the feather breaks, the metal beams will catch the building, and if the metal beams it will be destroyed, the tanks will take care of the building. It's like the impact zones on a car. So you have 3 levels of protections, but after that you have no chance to survive. So 3 hits, and after that it's game over. This is the image from inside the facility. Here you have the laser control, the radars and a television camera. So in what way do these facilities prove that David Weiss is wrong? The facilities I have presented here was some of the most secret places in Sweden until 1998. Very few people had information about those facilities. And they are designed this way because of atomic weapons. So if it's a hoax, why spend money on secret places designed to stand an atomic bomb? So if the purpose was to scare people, to tell them fairy tales about atomic weapons, why would they build secret places designed to cope with atomic weapons? It makes no sense at all. These 3 facilities proves once again that David Weiss is a fool and a big liar. I hope you liked this video. It was a quick one. Perhaps it was hard to follow me sometimes, but if there are interest, I will make more in-depth videos on this subject. Hope you liked it. See you soon. Bye.